Hey everyone, welcome to Tutort Academy. So my name is Chirag Vaishnav, and in this video we will be solving a question next permutation, right? So I'm really excited for this question particularly, right? So because I have learned a lot of things during this question, it has amazing logical explanation that I will be giving you, right? So without further ado, first let me explain the flow of this video. So first I will discuss a problem statement named next permutation. Then we'll discuss the intuition behind our logic, and then we'll see how the logic is being implemented in the code part, right? So let's get started. Okay, so here we are. So the question is next permutation, right? So the first question that pops into mind is what permutation is exactly, right? So the definition that is being given here is a permutation of an array of integers is an arrangement of its member into a sequence or linear order, right? So this is basically the one-liner definition for it, right? So permutation, what exactly we mean by permutation is, so here it is giving the example. Suppose you are having array that contains 1, 2 and 3. So permutation will be all the possible arrangements that we are having, like 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, right? Now the next permutation of an array is the next lexicographically greater permutation. So what basically lexicographically means here, right? So lexicographically, basically you can understand it by the help of a dictionary arrangement. So how dictionary is being arranged, right? Suppose we are having ABC, right? So the word starting with A will come earlier, then the word starting with B, then the word starting with C, right? So according to the order of basically alphabet arrangement of 26 letters, so the dictionary is being supported. Similar manner, lexicographical order, the words that we are looking here will be, right? So you can see that in the case of 1, so which is the smallest one? So 1, 2, 3. Right, after that 1, 3, 2, because if we are having 1 at the initial position, then we will check the next position, and that one which will be smaller in that comparison, which will be coming earlier, right? So 1, 2, 3, then 1, 3, 2, then 3, then it should be like 2, 1, 3, then 2, 3, 1, then 3, 1, 2, then 3, 2, 1, right? So we will be examining it in detail, right? So that's what permutation means, and we are given in lexicographical order. Now let's move ahead. So greater permutation of its integer. More formally, if all the permutations of the array are sorted in one container according to their lexicographical order, we have discussed what lexicographical order is, then the next permutation of the array will be permutation that follows it in the sorted container, right? So first we have to follow lexicographically order. Now all the possible permutation we have in sorted order. So what will be the next permutation in a lexicographical order, right? So this is quite a complex question, but the higher the level of complexity, the higher the level of fun of solving it, right? So if such arrangement is not possible, the array must be rearranged as the lowest possible order, that is sorted in ascending order, right? So we will discuss this. So let's move to the PowerPoint, or let's move to the whiteboard so that we can get in detail, right? So let me just head over to this, right? So here we are. So suppose the first question is that 1, 3, 5. Let me see. Let me take a better example. Okay, let's take the same example. No issues, right? 1, 3, 5, 4, 2, right? So this is the example that we will be discussing on, but let's first explain you that suppose we are having that let's take the example that is given in this only, right? 1, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3 or 1, 3, 2, whatever the particular array is being given. Now what you have to do, you have to find the lexicographical order. So the first will be the sorted in ascending order. Why? Because in the lexicographical order, what you want that on the rightmost you have the smallest possible element that you're having, right? So in the 1, 2, 3, so next combination will be 1, 3, 2, right? So these are the two combinations that are possible with 1. So let's take with 2. So 2, 1, 3, and then what is the next possible combination? That is 2, 3, 1. So next combination will be 3, 2, 1, 3, 1, 2, and the next combination will be 3, 2, 1, right? So this is the particular combination. Now what you have to do, if you are given particular, let's say that 2, 1, 3 is your particular given, so what will be the next permutation according to this, right? So the next permutation will be 2, 3, 1, right? So this is what you have to return particularly or basically, right? So how we will do this? So let's first see that how we will do this, then we will see that how we build this logic particularly, right? So there will be 4 steps. So what we will do, we will let's say we will start from the ending of the particular array or the particular sequence that we are given with, And for this we will find if ARR of I is less than ARR of I plus 1, right? So this is what we will be finding of, right? Now if there is I which is less than ARR of I plus 1, that we will term as index 1, IND1, let's say, right? So if you're having doubt that why we did this particularly, so just wait for a second, then we will get into the explanation part as well, right? Now the second thing that comes into mind is if. Now what you have to do, you have to again iterate first and second. Now you have to again iterate and you have to see if ARR of particular I is greater than ARR of index 1, right? So what you have to do, you have to make it index 2, right? So you have to make it index 2. Now you're having two indexes. First index is the first smallest element that you are getting in comparison of two consecutive elements from the last, right? And the second index is basically the index that you got, the evaluated index, and while iterating from the last, the first value that is just greater than the value of the index 1, right? So this is the thing, right? So this will be the step 1, this will be the step 2. Now the step 3 will be what you have to do. You have to swap ARR of IND1 and ARR of IND2. Cool. So this is what you have to do. Now after swapping, what you have to do is reverse index 1 plus 1 to last for ARR, right? So these are basically the 4 steps that you have to perform in order to get the next permutation, right? So you might be saying that I have just explained it, or I have just mug up this and explained this, right? So I will explain you. So what happens basically is whenever you are going for a lexicographical order, or whenever you are going for a next permutation problem, so there is always a peak pattern, right? So suppose 1 3 5 4 2, right? So always there will be a pattern that first it will go like this, peak, and then it will come like down, right? So you might be saying that, okay, I'm just saying this to make up my particularly that example that I gave. So 3 here will be the maximum thing. So here it will form like this, right? So let's say take example of 2 3 1, right? So it will first go like this and then come like this, right? So this is the pattern that is being followed everywhere. So now how we can utilize this pattern particularly, this is the main question, right? So let's take the question and make it more interesting, right? So what you have to do, you have to first find, right? So what you have to do in order to make the just next permutation, what you need that just bigger than that, but you want that minimal difference, right? So what you can do, you can first iterate through the last, right? And while iterating through the last, what you can do, you can find the first element that is just that is smaller than that, right? So from the last we can say 3 is the number, 3 is that particular number which is the smallest, right? That till now 3 is the smallest number that we have got in the consecutive comparisons. And why in the consecutive comparisons, why we have not compared it wholly, we have used consecutive comparisons because we know that it is an increasing kind of, right? So 4 will be greater than 2, 5 will be greater than 4, but 3 is not greater than 5, right? So here the consecutive or here the increasing sequence breaks, right? So it is the index 1. So 3 will be our value, 3 will be our index 1, right? Now what you have to do, in order to make it just greater, what you have to do, from the last only you have to find a number that is just greater than the value at index 1, right? So here you can see 2 is not greater than 3, but 4 is greater than 3, right? So 4 is the value that is just greater than index 1. So at the 4 value is the index 2, the index of the 4 value is index 2, right? Now what you have to do, you have find index 1 and index 2. Now what you have to do, you have to swap 3 and 4. So now what it will become is, it will become 1 4 5 3 2, right? So as we have came across 4 here, so it is the next starting, right? So after 1 3 series it will be 1 4 series. So we have got that what will be the next series. Now the rest of the word, now how we will sort the rest of the word, or how we will make the smallest out of the rest of the words, right? So what you have to do, as you can see 5 3 2, now it is not either in the sorted order, right? And neither it is like the way we were looking at it, right? So what you have to do, you have to basically reverse this. So it will be 1 4 2 3 5, right? So this will be the number, and so 1 4 2 3 5 will be the next permutation of 1 3 5 4 2, right? So this is basically the approach, and this approach is not explained in such detail in all the videos that are available on YouTube, right? So I hope you got it right. Now let's move to the code part. Okay, so here we are. So here you can see what you have to do. First you have to first you have to take the size of the particular array, and then you have to take a variable j. Now what you have to do first, this is the first step, that what you will doing starting from the last, and I is equals to n minus 2, because what we are doing, we are comparing I plus 1 and I, right? That's why we started with I plus 2, nums dot size minus 2. Now what you have to do in this while loop, you are finding the index 1 that you particularly discussed while in the explanation, that the first number that will be breaking that increasing order, right? Now in the second, what you are doing, while I is greater than 0, while jump j, nums of j is less than equal to nums of I. Now what you are doing, you are finding in the j you are finding the index 2. Index 2 basically the first number that will be just greater than the index 1 value, right? So then what you do, you will swap nums j and nums I, and then you will reverse I plus 1 till end, right? And here is the reverse function. So code is pretty straightforward. The main thing was in the logic only. So I hope you got it right. So if you like this video, do give a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and thanks for watching.